So if you guys are familiar with my channel, you'll know that I love my blue aquatic fragrances. I absolutely adore aromatic fougères, but sometimes I just want to smell different. I want a unique fragrance that nobody else in public is going to be wearing. Stick around and check out this list of my most unique fragrances. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Scent Review. Tonight I'm going to be going over a few of my favorite unique fragrances. Like I said in the introduction, I love blue aquatics and I especially love aromatic fougères, but sometimes I just want something that's a little bit more out there, something that I know when I put it on and go out in public, nobody else is going to be wearing the same fragrance. Now that doesn't necessarily imply that the fragrance has to be challenging, although I have included one or two challenging fragrances on this list. This list is not comprehensive. I know there's a ton of unique fragrances out there, but to keep things relatively simple, I'm going to go with a few of my favorites from my own collection. There's going to be something on this list for everybody, all levels of fragrance collecting experience. So yeah, let's get right into this one. First one on this list is going to be Untitled by Marc-Antoine Barrois. This one here is one of the most unique scent profiles I've ever come across. The main notes in this one are going to be rhubarb, vetiver, leather, and vanilla. So yeah, the overarching notes all the way through are going to be that rhubarb and vanilla. However, the vetiver does give it a nice grassy, woody smokiness to it. There's a big dose of smokiness coming from what I think is the vetiver. And there also is a smooth leather backdrop in this. Very unique fragrance. It's an extremely strong performer as well. I promise you, if you wear this out in public, you're going to get noticed. This is a head-turning fragrance. It's, like I said, one of the most unique scent profiles I've ever come across. Now, having said that, some people find this repulsive. My girlfriend, for example, absolutely hates this. I wore this last Saturday night. I sprayed it on in the house, and my girlfriend made me go outside. I was walking around outside for 5 hours. That's a true story. So keep that in mind. I personally don't think it's a super challenging fragrance, but it's very different. And I guess it just goes to show that, everybody has a different taste in fragrances. What's offensive to one person might be totally beautiful and attractive to another person, for example. Kind of like me, I'm totally repulsive to most people, but for some reason my girlfriend, I don't know, sees something in me. Maybe it's just out of pity. I'm not really sure. But anyway, this fragrance will get you noticed because of its strength and uniqueness. Untitled by Marc-Antoine Barrois. Next one on this list is going to be Africa Oliphant by Nishane. So the main notes in this one are going to be leather, castoreum, incense, and musk. So this one here, I've recently done a full-length review. I'm going to leave the link to that one in this video here if you want to check that out. This one, a lot of people say it's very challenging. I feel like it's a very vilified fragrance. Now, I admit that there is some leathery, animalic, smoky castoreum in this that could remind some people of, unpleasant odors. However, despite the presence of that castoreum, I think this is a beautiful fragrance, especially because of the way it does resins. Like the incense in this, you do get the smokiness from the incense, but also the resinous qualities of the incense are very apparent in this one. I think this is a really, really, really good example of the way resins should be done in perfumery. Africa Oliphant by Nishane scares away some people, but I have a feeling if you're a really die-hard collector, you're absolutely going to want to get your noses on this one because, like I said, there's a little bit of that animalic, smoky, dry, leathery castoreum. But really, to me, this fragrance is all about those resins and the leather as well. The leather is very prominent in this one. I feel like it's going to be great for leather fans and fans of resins and smokiness in perfumes. Africa Oliphant by Nishane. Next one on this list is going to be Sand Oud by Mancera. So the main notes in this one are going to be blackcurrant, cloves, and incense. Starts off with a really tart fruitiness coming from the blackcurrant, and it's met with some really warm, spicy cloves. Love the note of cloves. And it's very, very apparent in this fragrance here. The cloves are so warm, spicy. They almost have a smoky characteristic as well. And of course, there's some beautiful smoky incense in this. This is my absolute favorite fragrance from the house of Mancera. I think it's their absolute best. The scent profile in this is very unique. I know of one other fragrance that kind of smells something like this. Actually, I know two. First and foremost, this reminds me of the original M7 by Yves Saint Laurent, the one from 2002. But also, it does remind me a little bit of Amouage's Jubilation 25. Although I have to say, out of those three fragrances, this is my favorite because it's just a better value. It's the least expensive at this point out of the three of them. It's a very, very solid performer. And I mean, even though it does remind me of some other fragrances, what I mean is that the scent profile itself is fairly unique, something that you do not smell every day out in the wild. Next one on this list is the original Fahrenheit EDT by Dior. So the main notes in this one are going to be nutmeg, violet leaf, and leather. So yes, this is a fragrance that everybody has heard of. I mean, everybody who's into collecting fragrances at all. But the thing is, it's just so utterly unique. I mean, could you name another fragrance that smells like this? I mean, they do exist. There's one by Jeffrey Bean that was released several decades ago. Still, not the exact same fragrance. This is so unique. This scent DNA gets me every time. Absolutely stunning. Head-turning to me. The mixture of that violet leaf and the leather give off a petrol-like accord. Kind of smells like gasoline to a lot of people. I definitely do consider myself one of those people. I get a big dose of gasoline in this, and it's on a backbone of that just beautiful leather. It's a little bit juicy. Some people could find this ever so slightly challenging, I guess, because it is technically an 80s beast powerhouse masculine fragrance. I can kind of see where those people are coming from, but at the same time, it's just such a unique scent, beautiful scent, timeless. It's a classic. Absolutely love it. Yeah, that's Fahrenheit EDT by Dior. The next one on this list is Emeraude's Santal des Indes. So the main notes in this one are going to be absinthe, sandalwood, incense, and curry leaf. So this opens up with some boozy absinthe mixed with curry leaf. So it's a spicy accord that we're getting here. Some people have likened the smell of curry leaf to, I don't know, exhaust fumes. I can kind of see that, but in this fragrance here, it is absolutely masterfully blended. It is not offensive. It's one of the finest fragrances as far as I'm concerned in my collection. It's my favorite from the house. Unique scent profile. We get that amazing, milky, creamy sandalwood in the bottom with a beautiful, smoky, ecclesiastical style incense. Now, this one does remind me a little bit of Idole de Lubin, but it's just that scent profile, the DNA in general, utterly unique. You're not going to smell this very frequently out in public. Beautiful scent, super underrated scent from the house of Emeraude. I can't believe this one doesn't get talked about more often. But yeah, if you're a fan of like absinthe and sandalwood especially, absolutely, you're going to love this exotic oriental king fragrance. Next member of this list is a very special little thing I like to call Opium Eau de Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent. Yes, this is the one that was released in 1995. Some people call this the best masculine cologne ever released. I think it's pretty amazing. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite ever, but it is a very nice fragrance and it's extremely unique as well. So the main notes in this one are going to be star anise, blackcurrant, galanga, and vanilla. Yes, utterly intoxicating opening here. The mixture of that powdery licorice-like star anise with the fruity tart blackcurrant is very stunning, striking. The opening of this fragrance grabs your attention, and the other remaining notes keep your attention focused on this fragrance. It is absolutely magnificent. The galanga is going to give it a kind of gingery, spicy tinge, very balsamic as well. Kind of reminds me of the smell of Tolu balsam in a way. And the dry down in this is dominated by the best bourbon vanilla note in all of designer perfumery that I have smelled, at least. This is an utterly enchanting, intoxicating, spicy vanilla fragrance here. When I say vanilla, it is not like the sweet bombs of today. This stuff here is pure class in a very spicy oriental way. So although there is a lot of vanilla in the dry down of this, I don't think it goes too cloying at all. Like I said, it's not the same type of vanilla bomb that is released left, right, and center these days, for example. This is vanilla done right. My God, especially paired with all those other notes too. The combination is just, it's utterly breathtaking and intoxicating. This, by the way, is the Eau de Parfum, not the Eau de Toilette. Two different fragrances, two different scents. Opium Pour Homme Eau de Parfum. Next member of this list is going to be another Nishane. This is Patchouli Koja. So the main notes in this one are going to be whiskey, honey, patchouli, and leather. Now, whiskey is not an official note in this fragrance, but I find this to be absolutely dominated by a whiskey honey accord. So it smells like Jack Daniel's honey, for example. Very boozy honey. There's a sweet balsamic honey that kind of covers everything else, dries down to a beautiful, deep, but smooth, silky leather. There's a little bit of incense in the background. Ooh, this is another utterly intoxicating fragrance. Very, very strong. Some people might find this challenging because, like I said, there is a very prominent boozy accord coming from the mix of that honey and what I perceive to be whiskey, at least. But yeah, for fragrance connoisseurs, this is an amazing one. It's a little bit sweet. It's definitely boozy. There's some solid leather in the dry down as well. Like I said, there's a touch of smoky incense, but it's not overly smoky at all. I don't consider this to be a smoky fragrance, but there is that touch of incense that just adds to the exoticism of this fragrance here. The patchouli as well is going to wrap its sweetness around all of the other notes in this fragrance. The patchouli is the earthy kind, maybe has a slight touch of like dark chocolate as well. But yeah, the main player for me in this is that boozy honey as well as the leather. Stunning fragrance, underrated as well from the House of Nishane. But yeah, this is Patchouli Koja. Check this one out, guys. Last but not least is going to be Dior Sauvage Elixir. Yeah, I know. It's another Dior, and it's another one of their offerings that just everybody has heard of. But I mean, I challenge you to think of another fragrance that smells like this one. I think it's quite unique, honestly. The main notes in this one are going to be cinnamon, nutmeg, lavender, and licorice. So yeah, it's part of like the best-selling men's fragrance line of all time, Dior Sauvage, but it doesn't smell anything like the other members. And as far as I'm concerned, there's really not much else out there that smells exactly like this, although there are a couple of clones, but I'm not really counting those in this video. This is a stunning fragrance. Reminds me a little bit of, you know, aromatic fougères in a way. There's very prominent lavender in this. And honestly, I do detect, I think in the background, a little bit of oak moss that's kind of adding, I don't know, woody, smoky kind of mossiness to this. At least I perceive that. Other people have said the same thing. So as far as I'm concerned, there are touches of oak moss in this as well. So the point I'm making is definitely reminds me of classic aromatic fougères, of course, with some spiciness in this, a big dose of spiciness, to be honest. And there's a little touch of sweetness in there as well. But overall, very unique fragrance here from the House of Dior. It's my favorite elixir, and it's my favorite from the Sauvage line. A lot of people hate this fragrance because, you know, they associate it with aggressive masculinity or chads, for example. But I don't know, man. If you control your sprays on this and you wear it in an open environment, like outdoors, this smells absolutely beautiful. And like I said, quite unique at the same time. Nothing else that smells quite like this out there. This is Dior Sauvage Elixir. Anyway, guys, that's been my list of unique scent profiles in perfumery. I mean, there's a ton more out there. In fact, I would like you guys to mention one or two of your favorite unique smelling fragrances in the comments below. I will respond to each and every one of your comments. I always appreciate them. Love the interaction with you guys. So yeah, what do you think of this list? Do you agree with me? How many of these fragrances on this list do you guys own? Have you smelled all of them? Anyway, guys, again, please leave your comments below. Click like. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to my channel. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, keep it real.